Hawaii anytime, or you can go to Florida anytime. And how often do you have the opportunity to go to the top of the world?
That's Alison Levine on CBS News back in 2004 after she skied to the North Pole. The global adventurer also skied to the South Pole. She's climbed the highest peak on every continent, including Mount Everest. Levine did all that while overcoming 3 heart operations and a condition that puts her at extreme risk for frostbite. She is the author of a new book. It is called On the Edge, The Art of High Impact Leadership. Great to have you here. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Why do you do this?
First of all, I love the mountains. I'm passionate about those types of environments, and I love being somewhere that's very remote, where you have to be able to get by with just the things that you can carry in your back, in your backpack. And I love the challenge of pushing yourself past the point of pain and suffering and realizing that you can keep going, even when you feel like you can't take one more step. And each time, I think you gain more skill and more confidence to know that you can take on more and more challenging peaks.
So that's one of the business things you learn. Also, I guess, collaboration and planning ahead.
One of the great things about you, obviously your physical accomplishments are extraordinary, which you detail, but you're professional as well. I mean, you have an MBA from Duke, you've worked at Goldman Sachs, you've worked in politics, you've made it to the top in terms of the corporate ladder. One of the interesting things you say is that a lot of the leadership stuff that you hear out there you think is drivel. How so?
Well, first of all, I think it's a mistake to rely on executives for leadership or people that have certain titles or a certain amount of tenure. I think people need to realize that everybody is in a leadership position, and leadership shouldn't be left to an executive staff or the board of directors or heads of departments. I mean, leadership really has to be everybody's responsibility, because we all have a responsibility to look out for the people on either side of us and to help move forward with the mission. And when you're in these extreme environments, in the mountains or in the middle of Antarctica, God forbid if something should happen to the designated team leader, the rest of the team needs to step up to the plate.
But the experience of doing this teaches you can do more than you ever imagined.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You also have a forward by Mike Krzyzewski, the basketball coach at Duke. Do you do something about Duke when you get to the top of the mountain? Do you say something? Do you plant a blue devil? Or what do you do?
Well, I would scream, "Go Duke," except for usually I can't breathe because of the altitude. So, but I have taken Duke signage to the top of many mountains.
Yeah. Is Everest like the toughest of the tough?
It was the toughest of the tough. I mean, you're at 29,000 feet up in the death zone. They call it the death zone for a really good reason, and that's because starting at 26,000 feet, your body is slowly starting to die and human life can no longer be sustained. It's difficult to think clearly. You have to take 5 to 10 breaths for every step. I mean, every part of your body and your brain is impaired, and you have to still be able to function at a very high level, even in that type of state.
Alison Levine, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.